Hello, everybody. Welcome to Profiling Evil Reacts. I'm Mike King, and I keep thinking, I think like you, that things are going to settle down in the Lori Vallow Daybell murder case. But it just ain't so. Last week, the court surprised us all when Daybell's case was continued for up to another 90 days because Vallow has been deemed incompetent to stand trial, at least according to one psychologist. So the big question on everybody's mind is what's going to happen next? Well, make sure you're hitting the like and the subscribe button and ringing the bell and all of that so that you get notifications when I put out more information on this case. Now, before we throw our hands up in the air in disgust, keep in mind that the prosecutor, Rob Wood, argued against continuance. And the word on the street, quite frankly, is that the state's preparing an argument against the diagnosis. A hearing on the matter has been scheduled for June 16th at 9 a.m. And then we're going to hear from Judge Boyce, who has to decide on how to proceed. Now, an awful lot can happen in the next 2 weeks. So let's just hang in there while the wheels of justice grind forward. Now, there's no way around the fact that a psychologist diagnosed Vallow Daybell as not competent for trial right now. That's all, frankly, fine and dandy, because it really doesn't mean a lot until the court legally declares a decision on whether the court proceedings can move forward. Now, I think like you, those of us think that the crimes that Lori and Chad Daybell are charged with are absolutely horrendous and despicable. Now, these are alleged violations, but they have been charged. These are all my opinions and not anything other than my opinion. But a person would just flat out have to be crazy to commit such a crime as a murder. Now, that doesn't mean that these people, even if they are deemed crazy, shouldn't be held responsible for their actions and be accountable to people, us, we the people. Now, remember that Daybell is charged with first-degree murder, premeditated murder in the deaths of J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. She's undoubtedly going to bear some culpability in other crimes as this case unfolds. So the question isn't really whether she did something we all think is crazy. What really matters is that the court finds that she's able to understand the court process, that she can assist in her own defense, that she understands that murdering somebody is wrong. Now, Daybell's defense attorney, Mark Means, requested a psychological evaluation for Daybell back in March, and public records and court documents suggest that the clinician spent at least 2 days with Daybell. It was after that 2-day evaluation that the psychologist determined that she wasn't competent to proceed and that some form of restorative treatment was recommended. Well, I love this article by East Idaho News and a quote given by Bonneville County prosecutor Danny Clark, who said, "It's a very well-educated opinion on her competency, but ultimately the determination of competency is a judicial ruling made by a judge." Now, that has not occurred. Competency is a very specific thing. It doesn't mean that there isn't a mental illness. It doesn't even mean that these two, or at least Lori in this case, suffer from certain things. It simply means comprehending or understanding the proceedings against them is what's important right now. Bottom line is that Daybell has to be able to understand the proceedings against her and be able to assist in her own defense. If she can do that, she's competent to stand trial. You know, this is even an easier decision in my mind. It boils down to, did Lori Daybell know that killing J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, perhaps others, was against societal standards? Was it against the law? I think the answer can be found in the level of deception that was employed by her and her attempts to get away with murder. I also think there's going to be shown real financial motivation, as seen in some of the evidence described in the arrest affidavit, namely this transference of Social Security funds, attempts at life insurance policies, etc. In my opinion, it appears that she fully understood that it was wrong. Otherwise, I believe this person would have been shouting from the rooftops that she had eliminated 2 or more zombies and furthered the work of protecting the true believers. She didn't. Instead, she worked in the shadows. She lied to authorities, and she tried to manipulate the system and everyone around her. Now, if the court decides she's incompetent to stand trial, she'll have 90 days to receive that treatment, but she has to go in front of the judge again and be reevaluated. There is no insanity defense in Idaho, so it's unlikely that this is going to be successful for long. But then again, this is Lori Vallow Daybell, Ryan, Cox, on and on. Who really knows? Well, I look forward to the prosecution's response in front of the judge in 2 weeks. We're going to be showing it on Profiling Evil, and I hope you'll join us when we do it live. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. This one is going to get going faster. So here's the question for you. What do you think is going to happen to Lori Vallow in this case? Will she be deemed fit to stand trial in the deaths of J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, her children? I'm going to look forward to your comments below. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon at the next crime scene.